Hello and welcome to this timeless pick a card reading for light workers and healers who are considering making a change or shift in their business. So this reading is really going to cover the next thing, the next little thing that you are being guided to make, the little change, the little pivot. Because sometimes I know that I've done this, instead of making a small change and focusing there and letting it lead me forward, I focus on like the big thing, the big overhaul, and I'm almost never served that way. And if you're here, that might be something that resonates for you. So let's just take a look at the next little thing that you're being called to move into and see what happens. And if you feel guided to align more with collective energy so that you can show up and serve with more love and less struggle, go ahead and check out my most recent feminine forecast. I'll link to that down in the video description. That's this bi-weekly resource that I put out for light workers and healers so you can show up fully and serve and express your soul's magic. All right, so let's get into the reading. We have pile number 1 over here to the left, pile 2 in the center, and then pile 3 over to the right. Timestamps are down beneath the video, and I will see you in your reading. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile 1. So if you are here, you are considering a little change, or you are really feeling guided to make a little pivot in your business as a light worker and healer. So let's go ahead and see what the cards are suggesting for you. So starting off your reading, the Ace of Swords. This is really about knowing that things are off. You wouldn't be here if they weren't feeling a little off. And the invitation for you right now is to drop within your heart space or within your being and listen for your truth. What I'm picking up is that you're listening to a lot of people right now. So, just an example, it might be you're an astrologer and you are following a ton of different astrologers on Instagram or wherever, and you are kind of looking at your business and parroting what they're doing, or trying to seeing what works for other people and then trying to make it work for you, and it's not working for you, and it's not going to, because it's not your way. You have a very unique way of, we'll stick with the astrology, but insert your thing, right? But you have a very unique way of presenting your information, the stars, the charts, and whatnot. And rather than trying to parrot and echo what others are doing and saying, go within, discern your truth, find your voice, your message, and know that as you start to put your authentic self out there, your people, those that you are here to work with, are going to come towards you quite quickly as well, is what I'm hearing. But your next card actually fell to the floor, so it's a big one. Hold on. Big message. Okay. I like this. So not every problem needs a solution. Part of it is, I think that your offers are feeling misaligned, that maybe you're not enjoying showing up to them. And so again, we're going to stay with the astrology for consistency here. It's like you're doing readings and for a specific problem, and it's falling flat. And the reason being is because I don't necessarily get the impression that how you're reading or what you're reading for is what your clients need or want. And so you might be getting a little trickle in of clients every once in a while, but the rush, the crowd is going to come when you get very clear on your truth and what your message is and what feels right for you. So I'm hearing the word reader. So you could be a card reader, you could be an Akashic record reader, but I'm hearing that you do some kind of reading or some kind of healing service. And Spirit, rather than think about who you think, how do I want to phrase this? Rather than trying to worry about what people are looking for. Oh, wow. Ooh, this is giving me chills up and down my spine. Rather than worrying about what people are looking for, ask yourself, what is it that you want to share? because somehow the way you've been going about doing things is kind of on its head right now. So you're kind of talking about things that you think people want you to talk about rather than really what your soul is here to offer. Whew, that's a big message. And this is, I'm also hearing that for a lot of you, your truth now has gotten so stifled and suppressed, and it's got layers upon layers of other people's truths on top of it, that this is going to take a little bit of time. So don't expect an instant transformation or an instant pivot. Give yourself some room and space and time to sink in to the silence. Whew. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get that clarity on what it is that's your message, not what people are telling you you should talk about or what it is that people likely need, but what it is you want to talk about, what it is that you want to offer. Okay. Oh, wow. And then your final card, I've been so drawn to mermaids lately, is feelings. So I feel like your business right now doesn't feel good. And that's a big problem, because when your business doesn't feel good, people can sense that. They might not be able to articulate, oh, so-and-so is posting and like her business doesn't feel good, but they can energetically sense it. And so just know that if you are feeling like nobody's coming towards you and you aren't feeling good about your business, this is a huge reason why, because how you feel about your business is not calling people in to work with you. I'm not going to say that you're in a low vibration. I don't think that that's fair. I think that you've been making the effort, and I think you've been really trying to show up and answer the call and serve. But again, just a lot of outside voices have started to impact, and I've been here, so there is really no judgment here. But a lot of outside voices have impacted the way you are moving forward. So cut out the noise is my number one suggestion for you, Pile 1. Cut it all out. Take a social media hiatus. Maybe even take your availability off your calendar. Give yourself, I'm hearing like a 2-week period where you're going within and you're giving yourself the opportunity to get that clarity. Now, I'm not saying that within 2 weeks you're going to know exactly where you're going. It could happen. It could take a little bit longer. It could happen in, a day, but give yourself that time to get clear on your message. Because right now you're spinning your wheels trying to answer, give a solution to a problem that doesn't exist for the people that you want to work with. And that's why they're not biting. That's why they're not buying. So that's a very powerful message. And I hope that this gives you a little bit of clarity and some things to think about. Definitely leave a comment, reach out to me, let me know how you're doing, how it resonates, how you are going to spend this time in silence, and give yourself the grace to not know the answer, because this truth is not one that is going to come, oh wow, this one is not going to come from the thinking mind. It's going to come from the feelings, from your emotional body, but it needs some time in order to be heard. So sitting in silence is going to be a challenge for you guys, because you have a lot going on mentally. There's like your hamster wheel is almost like a mental one where like it's just like constant inner talk, inner chatter. Silence that. Get yourself to yoga. Sit and breathe with a cup of tea. That's one of my favorite practices. Become singularly focused. So if you're multitasking, don't do that anymore. Get singularly focused on whatever it is you're working on and whatever it is you're doing. And that's going to help to the process of silencing the mind so that you can feel into this next chapter. All right, Pile 1, this was a really good message. I hope that it's helpful. I hope it brings you some clarity and propels you forward on your path. I'm so grateful that you're here. Check out the video description for links on how to get a personal reading and ways to work with me, as well as links to the decks that I used here today. But I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello and welcome, Pile 2. I am so excited to do this reading on the shift that you are being guided to make in your business and what you need to know and how you can proceed in a way that's aligned for you. Okay, so let's hop into your cards. All of the The links to the decks that I'm using are down in the video description, as are ways to get a personal reading and other opportunities to work with me. But let's get going. So the overall theme of the shift that you are being guided to make, oh wow. So we have the Four of Swords. This card is one of rest, of replenishing, of nourishment. This card has been coming up a lot for those that I support lately. So this might be an echo, because I know some of you that I've done personal readings for are going to catch this. And if this is in a reading that I've recently done for you, please take some time off, rest. Sleep is actually a big thing. Your sleep is a mess right now because you got a lot on your mind. And I think part of what you are fighting is the call to rest. How interesting. It's like you guys know you need a break. You need to take some time off. You know that you've done the work is what I'm picking up on. Like you've laid the foundation. You understand that your work here is, what I'm hearing is like your work for now is done. Now you've got to give it some time. You've got to give it some breathing room. Okay. What I really love about this message for you is you have been hustling, you have been working hard, you have been mastering your craft, putting your offers out there, showing up pretty consistently. But now it's like you do need to take that step back so that the universe can make sure that the right people are seeing your work, your Instagram stuff, your YouTube videos, whatever it is. But that's so that your people can actually have time to find you. You might be doing a little bit of overwhelming them because you are a highly creative person. And I'm like seeing like you could create, it's almost like you create while you're sleeping too. So there might be some powerful dream energy coming in for you. But for right now, this rest, rather than looking like you're taking a complete and total step away from your business, which makes you kind of freak out a little bit, it's like just take, what I'm hearing is like create some boundaries for yourself with you and your business. So if you are someone who does this full time, or you are someone who's really looking to take this full time, give yourself office hours or working hours where it's like from 9 to 10, I work on my business, or maybe you are doing it full time and it's like from 9 to 2, I work on my business and I take a 30-minute lunch break. And I know that sounds very rigid, and I would usually guide against being rigid, but that's a little bit of you're being invited to do, because at a certain point, maybe your business has started to take over your life. Perhaps it's even impacted your relationships and your friendships and connections. And so use this resting period to start building that balance back up in your life. Okay, let's see what else we have for you. Pile 2. Wow. Okay. You are overly focused today on one task. And they're saying it's like that task is your whole business. That's what you're overly focused on. And it's like if your business or your mission was a person, you would be chasing them. You would be overwhelming them. You would be a helicopter parent is really what I want to say. I couldn't find the phrase, but a helicopter parent, but for your business. So take that step away, take that break. Listen, most of the money that you make is not going to come in while you are sitting at your desk waiting for it to come in. And I've learned this the hard way, right? I think I went like a stretch of maybe 3 months where anytime I stepped away from my business, because this was a message that I myself have gotten, but anytime I stepped away from my desk or I started working, I started to get bookings. And I was like, why isn't that happening while I'm sitting there? And it's because I was the hover mother in my business at one point. So pile 2, please give your business a little bit of space. Give yourself a little bit of grace with this message. Okay, I know you like to work. I get it. I know you're passionate about what you do, but you can still do it and enjoy the rest of life. I chuckle only because this message is all too familiar. All right, and then what's on the other side when you honor this need to rest and to give your business some space? Hope. Yeah. And I'm not surprised because I feel like all three of these piles are going to have this message of a little bit of burnout at times. But there's a part of you that's wondering if you've gotten it all wrong, if you're like looking for things in your business that are wrong, that are misaligned, and Spirit wants you to know that you're good, okay? Things are okay, but that space is going to bring that abundance that you've been wanting and seeking and hoping for in. So have hope that by taking that time off, by resting, by going out to lunch with your girlfriends, as opposed to saying like, no, I need to create like 3 million other Instagram graphics and they all need to align perfectly within the grid, and they all need to, like, it has to be, that fancy grid work that we see people do. But like, go out and have a good time, laugh, have fun. I'm hearing like, make an investment in your pleasure, in your joy, in your bliss. No matter what that is. Like, one of the women that mentors me, she talks about having a standing date with one of her girlfriends. I think it's every Wednesday, where they go to the movies. And this woman runs like a 6 or 7 figure business. And every week she takes the time off to go to the movies with a friend. So take that time off and then have hope that the abundance will meet you. Okay? So that's what I have for you, pile 2. Very short and succinct message for you, because really Spirit is saying you need to be doing less. You need to be showing up for yourself more and trusting in the divine. You're not doing your mission alone. You're not serving. You might be a solopreneur. You might be a one gal business, but you are not in it alone. You have helpers in this realm, in the earthly realms, as well as the subtle. But there's no room for them to support you and help you right now. So take a step back, let them step in, and just have hope that all is well. All right, I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye. All right, hello and welcome, pile 3, to your reading on how and what shift you are being guided to make in your business. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Spirit suggests to you. I have links to all the decks I'm using here today in the video description, as well as ways to get a personal reading and work with me if that feels aligned for you. But let's see what is going on right now. Okay, I love this card in this deck. I really just love Fox Spirit. I don't know, I'm being very drawn to it, but Ace of Wands. Enough about me. Let's chat about you. The Ace of Wands. What I'm picking up for you is that you have a set of offers. You have a set of skills and services that are out already in the world. And it's really interesting. You're in this tug of war within yourself because you have a lot going for you. You have a lot in place, and yet something's not quite right. Something is, I'm hearing like missing. And this Ace of Wands is an indicator that there is an idea, there is a creation sitting there. And I think you already know, because I'm feeling like, oh my God, they already know. You already know what that creation is. But there is this idea, this project, this creative endeavor that you are like, oh man, I wish I could go on this journey. I wish I could take the time from all the other things I'm doing and invest it in creating this. And really, this shift that you're making is not small or subtle, and it's not going to be, so the actual work is going to be quick, but from where you are to where you want to go is going to be a little bit of a lengthier process, but there's a lot of movement that happens along the way. Spirit wants you to know that, okay? But this Ace of Wands is really letting you know that the opportunity to create this, the call, the inspiration, the motivation, it's here, it's ripe. Say yes to it. So it might be, what I'm hearing is like, for some of you, for a really long time, you've been doing things a certain way. Maybe you've been like you've run a mastermind or you've run small groups, and the call to do one-on-one work is sitting there. And it's time to go towards that one-on-one work. Whatever the reason is, it's a soul deep call, but say yes to it. Or perhaps you've been working in person and you're ready to take it online, then answer that call. And that is going to be a creative process for you. But I am hearing say yes to the call, because it's not going away. And it's probably something that Spirit's like saying, it's almost like it's haunting you. You're dreaming about it. You're seeing signs. You're getting angel messages. All your cards that you're pulling are about it. And you haven't yet said yes, because I will say it's a lot of work, or it feels that way to you. It's going to require you to really sit down and get going with it. And for whatever reason, you're resistant to the creative work right now. You're resistant to investing your energy in it. And part of that might be, we can look at the other cards, but what I'm hearing is like part of it is like you've invested this kind of energy and time and things before, and then nothing ever comes of it. And for right now, can you fall in love with the creation process? This has been a message for 2022 for a lot of my creative healers and light workers. Can you fall back in love with the creative process, so that is part of the abundance? That is part of the gift, the blessing from Spirit is the process itself, is the creation, the act of creating, and not just what do I get at the end of it. Okay, so follow the call, say yes to it. There's something there for you. And what I'm hearing, why are you so resistant to doing the work that it's going to take? And get honest with yourself, because there's a little bit of, I don't have the time. There's a lot of excuses. And these excuses, you're aware of them and you use them regularly. And a lot of people around you, this is a little bit of a tough love message, my love, but a lot of people around you are kind of losing interest in your excuses. So it could be like, oh my God, my kids, or oh my God, I don't have the money right now, or all, like I'm hearing like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But like the excuse, like at a certain point, you've got to pull the plug on the excuse and fully step forward and show up for you, and show up for those that, that's a little bit of a triggering message maybe for some, and really start to show up for the people that you are here to show up for. But there's a lot of there's a lot of stalling happening with this pile. I totally didn't see it going this way. I thought these were going to be like gentle little tweaking messages, but you're ready for it. You need to be called out every once in a while. I know that my guides regularly let me know what's up in my path, or on my path. Okay. Check in with your intuition. What is your higher self telling you? Yeah. The reality is that you know that this creation is something that is coming from source, is coming from your soul, your higher self, but you keep finding the 3D excuses. You keep finding, and some of these are not external excuses. They're external excuses like, oh my God, my kids, but there's a limiting belief. There's a block. And it's almost like that's the work you've been unwilling to do. That's interesting. You've been unwilling to really look at the limiting belief, look at the ways you self-sabotage. But once you do, I also, I know this firsthand, once you do, the process becomes less threatening. It becomes more exciting, and you start to really, I'm like feeling like my body, like wanting to just sink down so deep into yourself, into your soul, into your life, and get going. Like really take steps, make strides forward rather than being where you are. Because it's like where you are isn't a lot of fun right now, but so the message is being where you are right now isn't fun, but you're like doing the work doesn't seem fun either. And so you would rather stay exactly where you are and unhappy and kind of unfulfilled than do the work. And there's something there for you to explore. And Spirit is kind of saying that's on you to do that inner work, to do that exploration. Okay. Me, I would love to give you all the answers, but they're saying any answers that come through would be from my Karen, the ego. So let's move into that next card, which is Patience. Isn't she beautiful? I know the glare isn't fantastic on this, or is actually like quite extreme on this, but Patience, being patient with yourself, being patient with the fact that this is going to take some effort, some time, and some work on your part. And I will tell you what's really, I don't know if it's challenging is the right word, but there's a lot of inner work that needs to be tapped into before you can get okay, they just corrected me. There's a lot of inner work you need to do on these limiting beliefs, on the ways in which you self-sabotage, on a lot of the excuses. There's a lot of inner work that needs to be done, but also this project, this creation is going to be a lot of work. And you know that. But once you do once you clear those blocks, it's like, it's work you're ready to show up to. It's a creative process that you're excited about and you're here for. But it does require you to be patient, and you do like things to move at a relatively fast pace. You know, sometimes I see that and I think you're likely a fire sign, but I have to tell you, a lot of this is very watery energy. It's that Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy of being like not wanting to dive deep, wanting to stay on the surface. Okay, so that is what I have for you, Pile 3. I really want you to sit with, one, what is this thing that you are being guided to create? What is it that's sitting on your heart? Like, I would really like to do this, but God, like that's a lot of effort. And then I really would like for you to just get honest with yourself. What are your excuses, both internally and externally? All right. So that is what I have for you. Let me know how this resonates down in the video description. Make sure you check out the feminine forecast. I'm really being guided to share that with this pile. Check out the feminine forecast so that you can work with collective energy rather than against it. You guys tend to like maybe force it a little bit, which is why you're not up for the work right now. So let's get you into the flow of it, getting a little bit deeper into yourself, into the process, and things are going to move quite quickly for you as a result. All right, so definitely check the links down in the video description. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.